To the race for president and Donald Trump. It's our favorite person to talk about here on MiWeek. He was in Birch Run on Tuesday night. It was his first public appearance since the debate in Cleveland where Trump verbally attacked Fox News reporter Megyn Kelly. This time, Ford Motor Company was the target of Trump's wrath. He criticized the automaker for building a factory in Mexico and taking jobs away from people in the United States. Trump suggested that Ford could let illegal immigrants drive the vehicles into this country. It was the candidate's latest controversial comment.
Never go along with that.
It's his latest controversial comment about Mexican immigrants. You know, I mean, there's just no shortage of things that Trump says, but you know what? He's resonating with people. And I'm going to throw out some numbers because the latest CNN poll, and you can grab any poll that you want, okay? You can grab it from any paper, whatever. CNN poll yesterday afternoon of likely Iowa caucus goers because, you know, Iowa and New Hampshire, they're settling it all, right? Trump, 22%. The next person down,
Carson, right?
Carson at 14%. So I want to try to move this, and I want to throw out a couple of other numbers because they also asked who would be the best person to handle the economy out of all the candidates. Trump, 37%. Yeah. Who would be the best to handle illegal immigration? Trump, 35%. Who would be the best person to handle terrorism? Do you want me to go on? Do you want me to fill in the blank? Tell me the answer.
No.
Trump, 21%.
You know, and that's an interesting poll, and particularly the Carson movement. I mean, Trump didn't hurt himself at all in debate with his supporters. I'm not sure at this point there's anything he can say or do that's going to hurt himself with his supporters. The more he says, the better they seem to like him because he's touching into that, you know, we're tired of the establishment attitude. And the more he sounds like an outside the mainstream candidate, the better him like it. But that's not the most interesting poll of the week last week.
What's the most interesting poll of the week?
Poll in New Hampshire for the first time had Hillary Clinton trailing Bernie Sanders. Sanders got 27,000 people to show up at a rally in Los Angeles this week. That is an almost heard of attendance. I don't know how many showed up at Birch Run for Trump, but I don't think it was 27,000. This guy is on fire, and everybody's looking at the Republicans saying, man, you got Trump. It's just as crazy to me that Bernie Sanders is catching such fire on the Democratic side. Okay, and I think if that doesn't tempt Joe Biden in the race, nothing will.
Okay, well then I think you're tapping into everything that we're calling this voter anger. So how long does that voter anger last? I mean, does it last for the next 8 months until people really say, okay, well, who is really going to govern this country?
I mean, I think a lot of what's going on right now has to do with the early nature of the campaign. We're 15 months out from next November. Typically, we wouldn't be this intensely looking at either field, and you wouldn't see that much coverage of the race. By this point, 8 years ago, I don't think Barack Obama had even declared officially for the presidency, and so the long sort of runway that we're on to try to deal with this question, I think, is sort of creating this weird dynamic where people are not responding to the candidates or the issues. They're just responding to this disaffection that they have with the process and with government generally. And so that's who's paying attention now. That's who's engaged now. Everyone else is, you know, off enjoying the summer. So some of that is what's happening. Now, it becomes dangerous if it bleeds into the fall too far or into the winter. I mean, if in January you're still seeing this kind of thing, that's a different issue.
And who knows? I mean, what's interesting to me is everybody keeps talking about Trump as a Republican phenomena. He keeps hinting at a third-party run. He said that in the debate the other night. He didn't put his hand up, but
if you're the Republicans, that's death.
Well, you think that, but if you look at his
he's not going to appeal. He will appeal from both parties, but he will not attract the number of Democrats.
He will take out of the Republicans.
Rasmussen has him getting a third of Republicans, a third of independents, 20% of Democrats.
That won't
and if you
hold.
look at when Ross Perot ran, Ross Perot got a third from each group. Got as many Republicans as he did, or Democrats as he did Republicans.
But he hurt the Republican. He hurt the Republican Party. The Republican Party is a minority party in this country at this point. That's who suffers from the third party sort of insurrectionist campaign. And so if you're the Republicans, you can't afford to have Donald Trump on that ticket as anything.
The longer he stays in the race, the more encouraged I think he'll be to do a third party. The only thing, you know, that would stop him is, he'd have to spend his own money, and I'm not sure how crazy he's going to be.
But he just said the other day that he'd be willing to, if he keeps leading in the
says a
polls,
lot
if
of
he's
stuff.
going to,
Says a
he
lot
does
of
say a lot of stuff, but you know what? But people are buying
I
it.
don't know how much liquid cash he actually has. I mean, he gets up there.
Nobody
and says, "I got
knows,
10
right.
million." He could have 99 cents that he can actually get his
Well,
hands
I think it's
on.
safe to say that he has more than 99 cents, but I want to talk about something that you mentioned, Nolan, about the whole opening up for Joe Biden. I don't buy that. I don't buy that Joe Biden is going to be able to swoop into the race in September and take away everything from Hillary Clinton.
It's not a swoop in, as
and
Steve
Bernie
said.
Sanders.
It's early in the campaign. Yeah. This is the time in a normal year when people are starting to, finalize their decision. This would not be extraordinarily early on a historical standpoint. You just a couple of weeks ago, you had the last of the Republican candidates get in. Her numbers keep falling. There's real concern now that the FBI has this server of what's going to come out, what's going to be revealed. You want to make sure you have a backup candidate who is not Bernie Sanders, because you don't know what the next shoe is.
The one thing that does work against Biden this cycle that wouldn't have in other cycles is the money. The amount of money that Hillary Clinton already has, the amount of money that's going to be necessary in this campaign, I don't know that he can raise it to mount a real sustained challenge
I think
to her.
If people keep seeing, if Democratic donors keep seeing her eroding, her numbers eroding to a candidate like
They're
Bernie
eroding
Sanders,
15 months
Yeah,
out.
but you know what?
They've seen that, they're getting nervous, they will put the money behind him.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, but you guys
true.
keep saying, well, historically speaking, people haven't been in the race. And historically speaking, this is when people start, hey, this is the new normal. And I'm telling you, and wait till the next cycle around and see how early it's going to start.
He
We'll see how,
he
we'll
said
see
he
how
would
it
make
goes.
his decision, by Labor Day? End of this month?
Yeah.
That is not too late. It's not too late to start.
It's
planning.
not too
Maybe
late. I just don't
financially
think.
too late.
Well,
That's the only
I don't think
possibility.
so.
all right, continuing now with